Hi, I'm Ian. I'm a lawyer for creators. It's not often that a friend of yours comes to you and says, you know what? Would you like your own world? Well, that's exactly what happened to me. My friend Coconut Pete, a friend of the channel, his links are in the description section below. He sent me a DM on Twitter and said, hey, Ian, I'd like to create your own metaverse. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome. He's like, you talk so much about the metaverse on your channel that I wanted to be able to create your own metaverse so that I could show you the power of having your own metaverse in this new Web 3.0 era that we're in right now. So today, what we're going to do is I'm going to take you on a tour of my own metaverse created by Coconut Pete. And then also I'm going to give you 7 reasons why you need your own metaverse. Listen, maybe you don't implement these steps tomorrow, maybe not next week, but it's important that you have a good grounding now for the reasons, the rationale behind having your own metaverse, having your own VLAN, having your own place in a video game or in one of the experience platforms that's out there. So that's what we're going to do today. And I'm kind of excited about this because I got to tell you, Coconut Pete went beyond the call of duty in creating my own metaverse, and he can do the same for you. He wanted me to let you know that if you go into the description section, you're going to find his YouTube channel. You're also going to find a link to the Ian Corzine metaverse that you can go to right now and play on Roblox and explore for yourself. So yeah, if you ever at the end of this presentation, you're like, gosh, this sounds cool. If you would like some assistance in creating your own metaverse for your own reasons, you should contact Coconut Pete. Just want to say we're really grateful for Coconut Pete being one of our community. Happy holidays to everyone. Just want to say also at the front, I got a bad cold this week, so my voice is definitely different today. So pardon me for that, but we will get right to it. So let's do this. Let's do the tour of the Ian Corzine metaverse right now. I'll put it up on screen if it'll work. There it goes. All right. So check this out. So I'm gonna push play. So you're looking at right now the helicopter pad of my white helicopter in this metaverse. You also see right there as we take off, I'll back it up a little bit. Something that Coconut Pete in there. Coconut Pete knows that in my youth and certainly when my weak times, I love the McDonald's cheeseburger. So he created a McDonald's restaurant in my metaverse. And what I want to do is take an opportunity to talk about copyright and trademark in Web 3.0. This is obviously our use of the trademark of McDonald's in our metaverse. Probably there will be no problem with this. It was animated. It's kind of a parody, and parody is one way to get access to the fair use doctrine, but it's something that you should be conscious of. A lot of you are going to want to create your own world, and you want to incorporate brands. You're going to want to have a Drake song, or you're going to want to have Snoop Dogg and his logo appear in your world. You're going to have to be conscious of copyright and trademark problems, just as you would in the Web 2.0 universe. If you'd like me to talk more about copyright and trademark in Web 3.0, let me know in the comments. But anyway, we're going to take a tour here. So the helicopter's flying. Let's see right here. All right, good. So what we can see now is Coconut Pete also built me my own rocket. So I'm kind of like Elon Musk. I have my own rocket. We can actually take off in it in a few minutes if you'd like. And then we're going to be landing pretty soon here. Let's see. At the Ian Corzine. Oh, yes, of course, I have my Ian Corzine yacht right down there. You can see at the bottom there. Of course, making AdSense revenue entitles me to a yacht. All right, then we can see right there a sign that says Ian Corzine's Metaverse. This is a sign that you could have in your own metaverse, advertising your world, advertising your products and services, so that when people come visit and they experience your world, whatever the game is or just the experience is, they're going to have right in their face your products and services. And then we'll cruise a little bit more. All right. Another example of advertising in the metaverse, and that says subscribe to Ian Corzine on YouTube. You can see it in the left-hand middle part of the picture there, it says subscribe at Ian Corzine on YouTube. So another example of what you can do in your metaverse to get people to subscribe, to do things, the call to action. Here's, of course, my treehouse house. Coconut Pete knows that I love those high treehouse things. I always like that movie Swiss Family Robinson. And so he knows I like boxing. So he has boxing on the TV right now that we're watching. Let's see if I can take it over here. Okay, we're coming over here. Oh, we're now inside McDonald's. And of course, Coconut Pete knows that I love Mr. Beast. And so he's giving me a Mr. Beast t-shirt. And he knows that I like Coke too. And so we're gonna get a Coke right here and drink that. And then we're cruising on the yacht right now. I don't have a yacht, but then of course your world could have swimming experiences. So we're swimming. We're gonna play with a dolphin while we're drinking a Coke, wearing a Mr. Beast t-shirt. And then let's see what else. Just to take you through. And then we're cruising again. See, I'm driving the yacht. If you look real close there throughout the world, he knows I love coffee. I got it right here. So he gave me a little Starbucks. And that's cool. There's teleports in my world. Now we have a Mr. Beast burger right there. Another example of a copyright trademark issue potentially. So Mr. Beast. Coconut Pete knows that I love Mr. Beast burgers. So he's put this restaurant in my own world. But again, is that a borrowing of the trademark, an infringement? Right now, probably not, but in the future, it could be. So we're going through restaurants. We're in the bathroom with the toilets work. I won't show you that part. And then we're going to be kayaking in the Ian Corzine Metaverse lake that's around there. Finally, we'll culminate by going on the Ian Corzine rocket. All of you need your own rocket. We're going up the ladder. We're walking across the little bridge there. I push the green button. And we're going to do the countdown. I'll kind of cut through a little bit here.
9,
and
8, 7, 6, 5.
We're going to be taking off in a few seconds here.
1. Ignition.
All right, there we go. I am taking off in my Mr. Beast shirt, in my own rocket, in my own metaverse. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm probably going to a metaverse near you. So that's an example of your own metaverse that you can have. And you can have it right now. Coconut Pete is very experienced on building Roblox worlds, but he's also working on right now on the other platforms like Decentraland and the Sandbox, which is something that I'm going to encourage you to look into too. Roblox is great. It's awesome, so fun, but everything is free. What you'll find is when you're on a platform that has a lot of crypto at stake, that you're going to get a lot more eyeballs. In other words, if people are paying money to visit your world or to visit a platform, then there's going to be more stake that they're going to have. They're going to actually spend more time there. And that way you're going to get better traction for your products and services. So, this is just the beginning. There isn't a whole lot of talent out there that is skilled in building these worlds, building these experiences, building these video games on the virtual land platforms, but people are learning. And I've encouraged Coconut Pete to adapt his skills so that if you ever got a situation where, let's say you bought a 1x1 parcel on the Sandbox and you wanted to develop it into an amusement park or whatever, that you could hire a person, a developer like Coconut Pete, to be able to build this out for you. And then when people are visiting the Snoop Dogg land in the Sandbox and they happen to see that you have an amusement park right next door, they're more apt to visit your stuff, to see your advertising, to see what you offer, and then be able to make a connection with them. I want to say hi to some people today. We got Machines 2, 99 cents. Thanks very much for the super sticker. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. We got Dickie's here. Dickie woke up this morning. Yo, so glad you woke up early. Thank you for joining us. I love it. Let's see. What are we looking at? Okay, we got Conscious Citizen here today. The metaverse is only for the sheep and brainwashed. Well, I hope you understand what the metaverse is. It really is an outgrowth of Web3. So pretty much it doesn't, if you want to do online stuff in the future, you're going to be exposed to the metaverse. And as we talked about in multiple broadcasts, metaverse doesn't mean meta. Meta is completely different. Meta is Facebook's attempt to be able to centralize this Web3 experience. We don't want to do that. We want to stay on the decentralized portion of Web3. So yes, I would agree with you that maybe meta is not the place to be, but certainly understanding some of the technologies that are going to be at stake is amazing, because you're going to be able to get a lot more benefit for your product and services. Oh, we got Nikki Red here also. Good morning. I truly appreciate your videos about Metaverse and has truly enlightened me. Well, thank you. I am captivated. And again, I really want to distinguish between Meta, the Facebook's Meta, and the Metaverse and Web3. I'm captivated by the fact that in this decentralized world that we're going to be in, that we're going to have a better ability to exercise our freedom of expression. That's really where I want to go. I got frustrated with the Web 2 kind of outlets, whether it be YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, even for that matter, because they're censoring actively and they're inhibiting our ability to, have us have freedom of expression. And I would see in this decentralized area, like an Odyssey app, which is a social media app that's on a decentralized network, they're not censoring. They're allowing us to speak our mind, because words don't hurt. Words are beneficial in our society. So I got to tell you, while I'm not for centralizing Web3, I am for decentralized. All right. We also got another, thank you very much, Machines Tube. That is so kind. You gave me another sticker right here. Thank you, Machines Tube. Appreciate that so much. Tell us in the comments what you do. I love your profile picture. It looks like you're doing some farming work or something like that. Let us know what you do. I'd love to know that more. And while you're watching, guys, remember to give me a thumbs up so that we can make sure that this broadcast gets to other people. I'd love to open people's minds to the metaverse and Web3 right now, because I think we're in this unique position where we're on our surfboard and we see this awesome wave that's going to be phenomenal, and we're just getting ourselves positioned. We want to be the people that are going to be able to catch that wave and benefit. So that's why I want to get the word out about this stuff. That's why I've done so much research and so much content about Web3. I'm so excited for you to have your own metaverse. And today we're going to talk about how you can do that. And Machines Tube gave me the very first thumbs up. Thank you so much, Machines Tube. I appreciate it. Coconut Pete is actually with us today. So if you have any comments or you want to make a connection with Coconut Pete, go in the comment section and let him know. Anthony Goodley's here too. Want to say thank you so much to Anthony Goodley. Anthony and I have had live stream conversations about a lot of things that are happening in the world of Web3, especially this Unreal 5 engine that is powering a lot of these games that are going to be on the decentralized networks. And I say games, I really shouldn't say games. I should say experiences. I don't know if you've seen that there's a new movie coming out, The Matrix, latest movie. It should be out next week, I believe. But they've created an experience, and I can put the link in the description, but this experience is the most amazing thing in the world. It's like you travel in the Matrix world, but you can't, it's very hard to distinguish between reality and this Matrix world. The programming, the sophistication of the Unreal Engine 5 is so amazing that it's hard to distinguish. So Anthony has helped me see that. And also I think he's also working on how to use the Unreal Engine 5 for your virtual land or platform. We've got Marlena D here. Good God, what the? People are going to sit in their butts even more and be totally out of their touch with reality. Send for delivered food, weigh in at 400 pounds today. I know. That's the thought. I was watching JP Sears' video this week, and he was doing a thing where he had the VR goggles and he was in the bathroom, and I was laughing because it's like, I know, you literally can have these experiences in a closet or in the bathroom. So it could be very true. I was talking to my wife about it. What are we going to do? I think the answer is just balance. I think you're right. There's going to be some people out there who abuse Web3, and they're going to be on their VR goggles 12 hours a day, especially as they get less clunky and they get more comfortable. So there's nothing we can do about that. I just think that what we should do is see the good in some of this technology and then use it for that. And then realize that we also have to balance it with a normal life, getting good food in our bodies and doing exercise and going out and examining nature, which is way, way better than all this stuff we talk about. But yes, I agree with you, Marlena. There will definitely be people out there who abuse it. All right, let's just see if there's anybody here. Oh, we got Brenton Thompson, can you put Coconut Pete's link, please? Yes, of course I can. Matter of fact, I did it just before I began the broadcast. If you go into the description section for this video, you'll see Coconut Pete's YouTube channel. You'll also see his website, which is called vidboost.com. And he told me to tell you to contact him at vidboost.com, and he can create your own Roblox world, or what I'm really encouraging you to do, create your own world in the Sandbox or Decentraland. And that would be awesome. Yeah, Brenton Thompson says, I'd like to create an online game show event space. Can Pete create this? You got to talk to Pete directly. But as you saw from our tour, he's pretty freaking amazing. So I bet he can come up with a lot of stuff and certainly set you hip on how to do it. Let's see here. We got Hell Rio here today. Pico 8 will be a great tool to make games inside the game, to make games in the metaverse. Yeah, I don't know what Pico 8 is. I got to read up on that. I don't know if it's a programming language or whatever, but let us know, Hell Rio, what that is. And then Brenton Thompson also gave us a nice little 99 cents. Thank you so much, Brenton. I appreciate that. All right, good. So let's do this. Now that we've done our tour of my Ian Corzine Metaverse, let's talk about the reasons why you should have your own metaverse. And I think the first thing I talked about in the Ian Corzine Metaverse was advertising your products and services. I just can't emphasize it enough. If you would go to sandbox.game, go to decentraland.io, and visit these websites, and you can, based for free, you don't have to, it doesn't cost any money, you can take a tour of these environments. And I have to tell you, it's super exciting. If you're on the Decentraland server, you'll get announcements, and they have different events, and they're most of the time free to attend. They'll have a museum showing where a famous NFT artist will be doing a showing, and you'll be there to visit other people who have interest in this artist. And you can walk around as an avatar, and you can chat with people who have the same interests as you. Almost every Friday, Saturday, Decentraland has an announcement of a concert in Decentraland. And it looks just like Coachella. You know, they have like 10 different artists, and they actually have these concerts that you can attend. And again, at these concerts, they have the contact information for the various artists, so that you're stoked on this guy. Make up the name. You can go to his website directly from Decentraland. You can go to his NFT area where you can buy music NFTs from his performance. And so it's almost like a second world, a second life, like that old game from 2000s. So so I encourage you to experiment with that, because what you're going to be able to see is that when you create your own space, and I don't know if it's going to be on Axie Infinity or if it's going to be in Roblox, whatever it's going to be, when you create your own space, people are going to visit it. And it's almost like returning back to the MySpace days, where there's kind of a bulletin board. In other words, it's less in your face social media and more it's there if you want it. And the crazier, the more engaging the experience you have in your space in Web3, the more people are going to be engaged with you, the more people are going to be apt to say, oh, this guy has a product or service that I need. Think about it today. We did a tour of Coconut Pete's Ian Corzine Metaverse, and I'm sure some of you now go, oh, cool, I'm going to file that away. I know that Coconut Pete develops VLAND, and I could do that for my product or service. So you made a connection just by attending this live. Think about how many connections you can make when you're walking around with people, chatting, dancing, whatever you're doing at one of these shows. So again, try to open your mind and realize that this could really be a benefit for you. There are some negatives. I know there's going to be people who are going to be on their VR goggles for forever, and God love them. But you and I are different. We're going to be balanced. We're going to know that there's an opportunity here. So having your own space in the metaverse, you can advertise your product and services for sure. All right. So the second reason, my voice is hopefully going to stay. The second reason to have a space on the metaverse is that you can have your own experience or game. A lot of times people grow up and they're like, gosh, I would love to have my own restaurant so I can walk around and meet the guests and serve them delicious food, and it just feels great. Well, think about if you had your own game. What would that be like? And again, we don't need to, we're always focused on the smallest viable audience. We don't need 100 million people to play our game. What if we just had the people that are here? We got 19 people on our live stream. What if we had 19 people playing our own game in the metaverse? How cool would that be to share that experience and to be able to talk to these people? What changes can I make in the game? You're going to be excited because I'm going to change the game next year and it's going to be a flying game or it's going to be a roller coaster game or something like that. So one of the things I heard by a famous guy named Tom Bilyeu, he summarized all this Web3 talk with one word, and that is community. It's going to allow you to build a better and more engaged community. Right now, there's a lot of friction between you and me. You know, you're looking at an iPhone or an Android, or you're on your desktop, and it's not really a clear connection. But just think if you and I are walking around a world having similar experiences, laughing at the jokes that some virtual comedian is telling, and we're going to be able to share emotional experiences and bond in ways that we can't just on a 2D screen. So that's another reason to have your own metaverse, and that is so you can have an experience or a game. What experience could that be? It could be a museum, it could be a store, it could be, like I said, an amusement park. It can be a place where you show people how to cook food. Maybe you're in the culinary arts. It could be a place where you show people how to paint, and then you have paint NFTs that they can buy. It could be a place where you show people how to make music, how you make beat music, and then of course be able to have them access either your online course or the NFTs you've created, the stems you've created. So it's just, I mean, it's endless what could be done. And I think that right now it's smart to start thinking, putting the groundwork together. You know, what platform, what metaverse is good for you? What metaverse can you afford? How can you save up so that you can afford some of these platforms to be able to put claim your stake, and then you know, have your own experience or game there. So I think it would be really in your best interest. Let's see. Let me see some comments here. Machine Tubes send me a friend request. Okay, awesome. That's so good. Okay, cool. And then Anthony Goodley says it's a photorealistic game on next gen consoles, PS5, whatever the new Xbox is called. But it's more of a tech demo of what can be done in real time. And we were talking about that Matrix example. We have Queen Helen Casey. She chooses reality over virtual, and I hear you. I think that I agree with you when we both praise how wonderful nature is as opposed to this world. I just think that it's just a part of our world, and I think you should think of it that way. Hel Rio answered the question. Pico 8 is a virtual machine and game engine created by Lexaloft Games. It is a fantasy video game console that mimics the limited graphical and sound capabilities of 8-bit systems of the 1980s. So it's kind of like probably, you know, a pixelated platform like we had in the 80s. Yeah, sounds like an emulator. Yeah. Brenton Thompson says, "You're reading my mind, Ian." Well, thank you so much for thinking that. Coconut Pete has a suggestion. We should do a live stream some week, play Fortnite or whatever while commenting. Yeah, you're true. Or actually, what we should do is do a live stream on my land in the sandbox once I can get the money together to buy the land. Yeah. Da Drexum Kusher, I don't know how to pronounce it. This would be great for artists so they can allow their fans from around to attend concerts. Yeah, that's exactly right. There's no need now to rent out a local theater for your concert. Just do your concerts virtually. Maybe someday you move on to the physical concert. That's great, but build the community first that is going to attend the physical concert. You got to remember, this is a bridge to the physical reality too. You know, you could sell NFTs of your music, which entitles the attendee to go to your real concert wherever it is in the world. So yeah, it's a really, really good way to showcase. That's why for artists, I'm encouraging them, you know, forget about Instagram now. First of all, Instagram doesn't do posts anymore. I mean, mostly it's just Instagram Reels now. So don't post your photographs on Instagram, post them on OpenSea or Rarible or something like that on one of those exchanges. That can be your portfolio. And so when people want to look at your photos and how cool your photos are, just send them a link to one of those exchanges, one of those sales platforms. So yeah, I agree with that. We got Dapper Foxtrot. So this specifically pertains to people who have computers to run VR systems, not interested in being restricted by, MetaBook devices. Yeah, exactly. You know, you aren't restricted to Oculus 2 and the Meta goggles. Those are obviously the most prevalent, I think, at this stage. But we talked in our last live stream. I think there's 18 to 20 companies right now that are making their own independent VR sets, AR goggles that are able to function on a variety of decentralized platforms. So right now, our choices are more limited. But I think what you can do is what most people are doing is just build your world on one of these virtual land platforms, and then it's going to convert over time into being accessible on various VR sets. So it's kind of like now you're staking your claim, building, kind of getting the foundations done, and then have the ability to expand. Because here's the next step that I want to talk about, which is reason number 3 to, have your own metaverse, and that is to earn passive income through rentals. There was an article in Business Insider this week in which there was basically a crypto rich guy who really has changed his investment strategy. He's holding less crypto and buying more virtual land because his goal is to be the number one landlord in one of the virtual land platforms. He sees the potential for virtual land as being much greater than physical land. And there's a couple of benefits to virtual land. One is, first of all, you own it and you can change it in a minute. I mean, the programming could just change. So whereas, let's say you had a concert space and you leased it to a band to put on a production, it's probably 3 days or so where your property's tied up, installation of equipment, blah, 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 blah. In virtual land, you just, boop, it just appears. There's the concert stage, there's the band playing, and then when the music's done, doop, it disappears and maybe it becomes a store. So your rentals can be much shorter in duration, and there can be more of them, in which case you can make more money on them. So one way to think about your virtual land is kind of a long-term investment. You could derive rental income, and it's not just like Coca-Cola wants to use your space and they're going to pay you 1 ETH a month or something for that space. That could happen, which would be a good thing too, I think. But what could also happen is that you rent it out by the hour or by the minute, however you wanted to structure it. But by putting your claim to a stake in one of these larger metaverses, you could earn passive income by just owning. And that doesn't even begin to touch on the next one, which is, of course, let's say you didn't do anything. Let's just say you bought a 1x1 parcel in the sandbox. I'm showing on the screen right now, OpenSea's listing for a sandbox parcel. You can see right there that the current bid on this piece of land that you can see right now on OpenSea, I don't think it's been sold, is $16,000. It's for Ethereum or Ether. Well, I checked it out. You can go yourself and go into the transaction history, and you see that this land was initially sold secondarily for 0.3 Ethereum. So that's multi-$100 when the land was sold. So by this person holding it, and I don't remember the actual months, but I think holding it for 6 months, they've made upwards of $15,000. So I can't guarantee that's going to happen forever, but this is just further demonstration that even if you didn't rent it out to different people, you could just hold it and do nothing with it and probably make some money. So think about the potential where you were able to monetize your property with your own game or experience. You're able to rent out portions of it or it all. I mean, you could have your game and experience for Mondays and Tuesdays, and then you rent it out for the remainder of the week. And then think about the other part, which is that even you're doing all this active stuff, you're also going to have this passive appreciation income. The land probably, especially if it's located in close proximity to valued other properties, estates, or districts, could increase in value over time. And this is just 6 months. I mean, what happens when you hold this property for 4 years and the demand is increasing? Well, we can't guarantee that these platforms won't create more land. They've said, at least right now, that their parcels are limited. There is a limited supply. Sandbox has said that they have created this initial world with, I'm thinking it's 16,000 parcels or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct me on that. But if they ever want to do more, they'll just create another metaverse. So it could be very highly valued land, and you could get some appreciation out of it. Thanks so much, Machines Tube, but best stream ever. I so appreciate that. Okay. Yeah. The Coconut Pete was talking about, I just remembered some companies do this with their employees. I think I saw an article once employees meeting in a game. Yeah, they are doing that. And actually, I'm going to do a live stream on that. I'm really fascinated with this app called Immersed, which allows you to put on VR goggles and then do your work from home, or actually, frankly, from anywhere. It has the ability to have as many monitors as you need. Your keyboard shows up and you can see it very well. You have a calm environment, if you like, and then your phone is right there. So you can do all these different things. And then the best part is that you can mix with your employees in meetings. You push a button and you move on and you see your 6 avatars of your employees, and you can do meetings that way. The whole thing of the whole workday is all on VR. Pretty efficient, I think. So I'm going to do another video on that coming up. Oh, here we go. I like these questions. The Dapper Foxtrot says, you're not worried about Facebook killing VR as a concept? Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, the Dapper Foxtrot, this is an awesome discussion. Probably it's worth its own video. I am definitely worried about that. Key pinnacles to Web3, decentralized, right? Interoperable. I'm definitely concerned that what Facebook is gambling on is that people are more concerned about the features of Web3 and less concerned about the decentralized. And by the way, that's a legit concern. People will choose comfort rather than their own rights or security any day of the week. So you have to be aware of that. So we're going to have to be vigilant to really use the decentralized platforms, really encourage the adoption of the decentralized platforms, and to push away any movement to go to the centralized platforms, not use those platforms, because that's the whole point. What I'm looking for is global freedom of expression, global opportunity. And I think that when you're playing in someone else's sandbox, there may be a lot of talk about freedom and access and all these things. But I think at the end of the day, you're still in their sandbox. So yeah, I'm worried about it, but that's cool. We'll just do our best to work on the Axie Infinity or Roblox or whatever you want to say, or the video games. And we'll not use Meta and their attempt to kind of corral people who want to be on VR goggles. Legit concern for sure. Yeah, Da Drexum, I'm going to say. Sorry. Yes, NFTs are a major part of the universe. Absolutely, and the primary reason for that is proof of ownership is the value of NFTs. I am not a person that is buying into the hype with all the NFT projects. Right now, really, if you're being honestly, intellectually, there are a handful of NFT projects that will make you a lot of money, and then there's a lot of people that are just trying to hit home runs, right? Trying to be in those top 10. But my view is the power of NFTs does not reside in digital art necessarily. Maybe music is an exception because music is amazing what they can do, but really resides in the utility of NFTs. I'm going to make a video coming out this week. It's all about utility NFTs and why you need your own utility NFT, and why, if you see the leaders in the Web3 area, they all have them, right? Check out Gary Vee. He has utility NFT. It's not about the art. It's not about his scratches on a piece of paper. It's about what you get, the features you get out of having proof of ownership for this. And I want to show you how you can craft your own kind of membership club using the NFT technology. And I think it's easy to do. Hey, the Healing Zones is here. I just tuned in. What was the URL called about the sandbox or something? Well, the sandbox is just sandbox.game. And of course, that's one of the leading platforms for virtual land. I did do a comparison before we got on the air, and Decentraland and the Sandbox are comparable in their prices. Listen, on the secondary market, it's hard to get into these properties. I mean, we're talking 10 to 12 higher amounts for land in these areas. We're in a little bit of a hype cycle right now. So I expect that the prices of virtual land will go down in general on the secondary market. And then additionally, they will be much cheaper on the primary market. You generally want to buy your NFTs, your virtual land, from the actual developer itself. And how you do that is you find out when they're going to be offering land for sale, NFTs for sale. How you do that is you get on the whitelist, is you know someone who tells you, hey, by the way, the sale is happening on December 31st between 7 and midnight. And so what I want to do as a part of an offering to you is I want to provide you with notice of these things. So if you'd like to join my email list, you can go in the description section and click on the link to join my email list, and I'll send you an email. I belong to all these Discord servers for the virtual land and the NFTs, and I'll set you hip to when those whitelists are happening, when the sales are happening, so that you can get on early and then not have to pay exorbitant prices to have your own metaverse. So yeah, again, just go in the description section. There's a little line there. It says join my email list, and I'll provide you notice of not only my videos that are coming out, the live productions, but also with upcoming land sales, upcoming NFT sales that you should be aware of. And I'm not going to waste your time with spam or a huge long listing. I'm going to give you 5 listings and say these are the most important to me right now. Do what with it what you will. You can choose to click on it or not, but that's me just wanting to help out there. Queen Helen Casey, she stays broke for a reason. No, I'm poor, but that's a choice. I want to be poor. All right, cool. I understand. We got David Alt here. Hey, what's up, Ian? Good to see you. I like your profile too. It's awesome. I saw a performance Saturday Live last week. That was sweet. We got Salty Gravy Virtual Lamb. Yeah, I know. Listen, I get it. It's a hard sell. I think I did a recent video where I opened with, I just spent $8,000 on a piece of land, and you can't visit it. All you can do is see it on a map. So I get it. It's a hard sell. Just think of virtual land and spaces in the metaverse as websites. That's the way to do it. It's kind of like, oh, you paid $1,000 for a URL website. Yeah, because a lot of people go to meet.com. It's the same thing. It's not tangible, but it's going to be a place that people visit. So try to think of spaces in the metaverse as not so much actual physical spaces, but more websites. So again, if you have a website that has a cool URL, you're probably going to get more traffic than a website that doesn't. If you have a piece of land that's right next to the Snoop Dogg estate in the sandbox, then you're probably going to get more traffic than way far off for a cheaper piece of land. So that's the way to think about it. Oh, Coconut Pete, thank you so much. $5. Thank you so much, Coconut. You've given me so much. I feel like I should just immediately send this money back. Do you know if Zuckerberg will include free land for each Meta user in Meta? There's been talks about that. Again, what his goal is to get widespread adoption. And if you remember, his initial model for Facebook was that everything is free. Yeah, we're never going to do advertising. This is just a service to you to be able to meet, to connect, and to share. He's going to do the same, in my opinion, the same strategy when it comes to metaverse things. He's going to offer up some free crypto that they're going to have. He's going to offer up some free land. He's not going to make promises about how long you can have that land. He's not going to make promises about the fact that they may be able to create more land. There's not going to be limits. One of the powers of the decentralized virtual land is scarcity, is the fact that only a certain amount of parcels will be created. That's how the price value goes up. But I believe that Zuckerberg would say, hey, listen, just like Decentraland, you can have your own land in Meta, whatever they're going to call their metaverse. And you can have free money too. So I would say beware of those enticements. Some people might say, okay, but if they're free, that's where I should go to get the eyeballs. Maybe, but you got to remember. And and actually Coconut Pete and I had this exact discussion. I said, it's wonderful that you're developing for Roblox. That's awesome. But think about it. If someone has the money, $12,000 to buy a parcel in Decentraland, that person probably has the money to pay you to develop his or her land. So it's the same thing. It's kind of like you're already culling the customer base by having investments into virtual land. So what's the difference between a person who has a free piece of land that's walking around your free piece of land and a person that's paid $12,000 to have that land? He's probably a much better customer for your products and services. So while I believe you're right, Coconut Pete, they're going to offer free land there and they're going to tout how this is the way to go. I think that we should really stick to the areas where we see the money being invested. And that right now is Axie Infinity, Decentraland, and the Sandbox. Nice, Pete. Nice, Pete. All right. Yeah. The Dapper, Foxtrot, and Anthony Goodley are talking about proprietary technologies, and they're talking about interoperability. That's going to be another foundation. Right now, the platforms that are decentralized, not Facebook, not Meta, are really working on that. There's a project called Genies, which I'd encourage you to look at. Their website, genies.io, I believe. And they also have a Discord server that I belong to. What they've done is they've gone to the big music development companies and they said, listen, we want to make avatars of your biggest stars, Lady Gaga, Justin Bieber. And then what they want to do is they want to make sure that these avatars are interoperable among the different metaverses. So that Justin Bieber, when you see his avatar, the dress the way he is, and he walks into Decentraland and visits your parcel, you know that's genuinely him. It's almost like the blue check. And then that exact same graphical avatar can walk into your sandbox environment. So we'll have interoperable avatars. That is the goal right now. And again, I would encourage you to look into it because it would be in your interest for you to claim your own genie. I don't think you can do it right now. It's early in the project, but at some point in time to claim your own genie avatar so that you have, so everyone knows Ian Corzine is going here, Ian Corzine is going there, Ian Corzine is showing up in the Fortnite game. It's going to be your identity no matter what is the platform. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Queen Helen. I don't trust Zuckerberg either. I really don't. We got Abib here. What does Abib say? I just finished reading the book, The Metaverse Investing by Christian Brown. I've heard the word metaverse a few times, but I never got fully understand until I read this book. Well, I agree. I think you're smart, Abib. I did the same thing. If you go onto Amazon right now, you can find a number of books that are actually free to read, to listen to, all about metaverse. Just go into the book section, type in metaverse, type in Web3, type in virtual reality, type in NFTs, whatever it is, whatever your interest area is, and you could really educate yourself out there. There's a lot of really good stuff that have influenced my content, and I encourage you to look into it. It's, guys, I think it's the early days of the internet. It's 1998 or something. And we're like, oh, there's this thing out there at the internet. It's kind of cool. You go to web pages and you learn stuff. There's a Wikipedia. It's really kind of cool. I can look up anything I want. Well, I think we're at that stage now for this new internet, which is going to be this more immersive, engaging type of internet that even if you don't like, who cares? I mean, it's like, who cares? It's other people are really, you're predicting other people's behavior. Other people are going to like it. And if other people are going to like it, that's where their eyeballs are going to be. And if that's what their eyeballs are going to be, then you need to be there for your products and services. So that's my thought on that. All right, we're going to move on to, we're at reason number 4. Let's move on to reason number 5. And this is my avatar on Decentraland. And I told you that Decentraland puts up an event calendar, and they have this showing of this NFT artist that I've actually heard of. I hadn't seen a lot of her, but I went to the showing. I went to this museum, and you can see me there looking at the various NFTs. If you get close to these NFTs, you can click on them, and that will take you to the page on, I think it was Super Rare, where you could actually see these NFTs and potentially purchase them. And it was cool. When you walk in, there's this cool music playing in the background. There's other people you could ask questions. They actually have avatars there that answer questions about the art. And there's other people you could meet who have similar interests about this art. So you can use your space on the metaverse as a gallery for your videos, your audios, your images. I mean, potentially you could have your podcast going. You imagine if you were Joe Rogan and you had this showing, this Joe Rogan museum, and you had each of these little spaces was video podcasts going on, and you could click on them. Maybe you could own them. Maybe you could participate them. Maybe you could comment on them, whatever, but they were interactive. And so, yeah, you definitely could use your space as a gallery for NFTs. Reason number 6, to network with virtual people. So what I did after I went into the museum is I wanted to go outside and talk to people who were outside of the museum. And I don't know that they were necessarily into this museum, but I went out there, and as you can see, all the avatars, their screen names are labeled on top of them, and you can walk up to these people and talk, and you can chat just like you can on Discord, real time. Ask them why they're there. Most of them are new to it too. They're like, "What the heck? I'm just walking around. I don't even know how this works." And you can exchange stories of walking around. So you can actually, what's kind of nice about Decentraland is you can funnel the people you interact with your interests. So if you were going to a concert with a particular artist that you're into, you can be rest assured that the people that are at that concert not only like the artist, but also are into this Web3, are sophisticated, understand that they need to be, on a desktop computer to actually make the time to go to this virtual concert. So you already kind of have funneled the essentials of who you might interact with. And you can make some connections. Maybe those people are developers. Maybe those people make electronic music. Maybe you make electronic music and you need a producer, or you need someone to record it, or you need someone to create your own space, your own concert. And this person is attending because they created that concert space. It's all about meeting different people. And you're going to find that it's much easier when you are on Decentraland. And then my seventh reason is just kind of a reason that I want to make sure you kind of get is it's just fun. I mean, I got to tell you, exploring these worlds for free at this stage is just fun. I went to this or actually, I took a screenshot of this Snoop Dogg concert that was happening in Decentraland, and I don't exactly know how it works. Like if Snoop Dogg is live and he's singing a song, and then it's just coming through the avatar, or if it's pre-recorded, it's kind of hard to tell. But nonetheless, it's a Snoop Dogg concert, and you're there with other people dancing, singing, you interacting, and it feels fun. If you're just going to tune into Netflix one night, why not go to the Snoop Dogg concert for an hour and check it out? So it's plain just fun. And so that's why, that's another reason why you should have your own metaverse, is just to have fun. Think about building your own castle, or your own, I don't know, futuristic house, or your own, maybe make it entirely ocean. Maybe you're a fish person and you like to go fishing and create this own environment, this game experience where you catch big fish. I don't know, but it's endless. Yeah. Ready Player One. Yeah. There's a comment by Drax Catcher. The whole metaverse is like that movie called Ready Player One. Yeah, and I agree. I went back when I dove into this stuff a year ago, so I went back and watched that movie again, and it's absolutely true. I think it is, and I'm hoping it's not going to be a dystopian society on the outside. I'm hoping that we learn how to balance this. I hope we still eat healthfully and we still have great experiences in the physical world. But I got to tell you, having spent some time in the metaverse now, it's a great part of my life. It's wonderful. I've met so many awesome artists that can be my clients that I can give some advice to, especially on Discord servers. It's been great to meet people on the NFT community Discord server. I'd encourage you to join that, to meet these people that are they're the cutting edge. They're creating art that they want to offer people, and make them happy, and make them collectibles. So it's pretty awesome. Yeah. Yeah, Dickie says, I think people ought to step outside and breathe or take a breath before taking movie plots too serious. Yeah, tech isn't there for that. Well, I know. I mean, there's certainly hints out there in the movies, like The Matrix and things, and Ready Player One. But yeah, we shouldn't take them too seriously, because ultimately, got to remember, the corporation's best interest is to be able to make money. And if you know that, then it's fair going forward. And maybe you just choose to join them. Maybe you want to sell virtual food, or maybe you're seeing Gucci and Nike. They're already creating digital items that people can walk around and flex in the Decentraland world with their Nike shoes or their Gucci purse or whatever. So it's happening. The brands are doing it. And, I don't want to tell you that you're going to be left behind if you don't, but I think it's worth spending some time really understanding what this whole Web3 offers. Let's see here. Any more comments here? Yeah, of course. Just again, to the email list, Machines Tube reminded us that, yeah, if you would like some advanced notice of some of the how to get on white lists, or some of the sales that are the most important ones. Now, I'm not going to waste your time with ones that are smaller. Just join my email list by clicking the link in the description section, and you'll get notice of that. When I'm looking to buy my sandbox land, when I'm looking to buy Decentraland, I'll let you know, so that there's an opportunity for you to claim your spot in the metaverse. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. This helps out. By the way, it's pronounced the Dream Catcher. All right. I'm going to take your word for it. That's not spelled like dream, but anyway. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Hel Rio says creating a good webpage name relating to metaverse is also good business if you do clickbait and affiliate marketing. Absolutely. Hel Rio was paying attention about a couple months ago when I did a live stream and I said, I just spent hours buying tons of .io URLs on GoDaddy. So yeah, that's another. It's like that whole gold rush analogy where it's like don't be the guy that's rushing to find the gold in California. Be the guy that sells the shovels. Be the guy that sells the food, the provisions. So that's what I thought of too. Is there's a lot of .io names that are available, and so I went up there, and I'm very interested in the virtual land space. So I got a lot of the virtual land .ios for $8 for a year. If it doesn't pan out, whatever, I'll just let those names fall by the wayside. But if it does, then either I'm going to have someone wanting to bid on my URL, or maybe I want to create something on that URL. Because I think one of the things is I'm super excited about Web3, but I don't think Web2 is going away quickly. There's a whole, someone was saying, I think it was the Crypto Gorilla channel, which I really love. He was saying that, there's a crypto awareness or NFT awareness is there, but we're far from NFT adoption. I don't know if we're far, but yes, we are not at NFT adoption yet. So, the Web 2.0 platforms still are websites are still going to be around. Matter of fact, if you're going to be buying on the primary market for virtual land, you're going to the Sandbox or Axie Affinity's website. So that's still going to be around. So it's important for you to think about it. Think about what you could be doing. Probably art.io is taken, but think about some of the things that are in your sphere that you could buy that may have value later on that you could create on or that you could sell. I think it's a good call, Hel Rio. Awesome. That's so great. The Machines Tube sub to Coconut Pete. Yeah. If you guys would like more on how to develop your own metaverse, how to develop on all the different platforms, I would sub to Coconut Pete. His YouTube channel link is in the description below. Dickie says, part of me still wonders why they secured the name Metaverse, given the term was already in use. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're referring to Facebook, because Facebook really didn't. They're Meta. Is it Meta Holding Company, something like that? So they didn't. Metaverse just popped in because like that Neil Stephenson book from 1992. Everyone likes to quote that. I think Metaverse is just a portion of the Web3 autonomous vehicles, AI, VR, AR, crypto, decentralized NFTs, those kind of decentralized finance NFTs. That's just a portion of that. So let's see here. Let's see more comments here. Yeah, so the dream catcher. So is your gallery like a YouTube channel, but instead it's just more interactive, it profits, transactions, more fluid? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's referring to a comment or to what we looked at, but in that museum, it's a much more smooth and fluid. I like the way you described it. It's a much better way of facilitating transactions when you see a piece of art that you like and other people are looking at, and you're like, wow, this is pretty cool art. And then you click on it and you can buy it. It's not like Instagram where you're looking at a photo you really like and you got to go to the bio, you got to find the website. The website maybe takes you to a different place. This is a much more fluid, smooth environment where it's like in the real world. You're looking at this piece of art that you really like and you can have it right then and there. So yeah. Oh, Wayne is here and he just wanted the link from it's decentraland.io. Right? I was just typing decentral. Oh, .org. Sorry. It's decentraland.org. And yeah, just take a spin. In Decentraland, you can get your own avatar. I can't remember what it costs. I think there's some sort of. I think you have to have a wallet and have some money in it. But then you can create your own avatar and walk around. In the sandbox, you're only able to play 3 different areas in the sandbox. They haven't opened it up entirely to everyone. Pablo Isaac says, "What do you think about crypto cars, C cars?" Well, I'm going to look more into it. I mean, I've seen them in the in the world, the virtual worlds, um, I think that they will be a badge at some point. It'll be a flex, right? It'll be, you'll have a Lambo in the sandbox, I think that'll be it. I don't know how much utility they have in these worlds because you can teleport wherever you want to go. Um, but I'm sure it's going to be a flex. I'm sure that you're going to be walking down the street in Decentraland. You're going to see a Lambo drive by, and you're like, "Whoa, that's cool! That guy, has a Lambo NFT, a genuine one that he bought in 2001 or 2021." Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny, Wayne. The sex industry is going to go wild. Absolutely. There's no question about that. What do they say? Like, half the internet is porn or something like that. Well, it's going to be the same thing. There's going to be, it's already happening. So yeah, that's part of it. Anthony asked me about vMix. I am not. I don't know what that is. Tell me what that is, Anthony. Maybe it has to do with mixing the stems that you get from music NFTs. Anthony is saying, just as Web 2.0 was a top version 1.0, expect Web 3.0 to also be a top and an extension of the pre-existing technology. Yeah, exactly. No, I totally agree with that. It's just going to be, you're right. Why reinvent the wheel? It's just going to be extension of Web 2.0. So URLs are still going to have relevance. Yeah, keep on keeping on that. And then the other part is that there's a lot of people that are slow to adopt. I mean, think about it. I made some videos in the last couple of weeks where I show you how to get crypto into your wallet and then get your wallet secured with cold storage. I mean, there are some steps. People, you got to be kind of techie these days to be able to really understand how this whole new world works. It's not going to be that way forever. Someday it's going to be very smooth. We're not even going to know it's happening. But right now it's clunky. The only reason I'm willing to do it is I think that it's worth it to stake our claim now. Live in this clunky world of huge VR goggles. Live in this world where you got to have this little USB drive type thing that's your cold storage so that you could stake the claim for the future. So that's the only reason I'm willing to do it. Raymond E is here. Are there examples of business who proved a service rather than product who are successful in monitoring through the metaverse? I think at this stage, it's a little bit too early. I have not seen, to be honest, they may exist right now. I have not seen a lot of service businesses, but here's a good example. Today in this live stream, you saw a service business advertised. We saw Coconut Pete create the Ian Corzine metaverse. And now some of you know that Coconut Pete does that kind of work. So we've already sold his services by just showing his wares. I think it's the same that's going to be true when it comes to, let's say, local plumbers. Think about if they had a 1-by-1 land, and in this plumbing world, you could ride a plumber roller coaster. You could go to a section where you learn various things to maintain your house and your plumbing in your house. You could have an area where there's a frequently asked questions, and you could have a situation where a guy stands up and talks about the plumbing business. Whatever it is, think of it as an interactive website. So I see that there's countless opportunities of services. And I think that if you have any programming skills whatsoever in the Web 2 area, let's say you're a website designer, you're a graphic designer, getting your stuff up on these centralized platforms right now is crucial. If you're a graphic designer and you do thumbnails for YouTube, why not put your thumbnails on OpenSea? Make them NFTs. That's where it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make tons of sales, but that's where the eyeballs are. If the eyeballs are there, they're going to see you and say, gosh, I love this guy's graphic art. Maybe he could do signs on my land. Try to translate your existing skills to this Web3, and you'll be one of the first. There's no one out there. I did want to make a recommendation that if you wanted to do your own metaverse, your own world, obviously Coconut Pete, you could talk to him. You could also go on to Upwork, Fiverr. Did I do a listing here? A number of different websites. I know Upwork and Fiverr right now have metaverse type programmers who will do land, who will do designs. And then, of course, there are also companies out there, if you're well funded, that can do all this stuff for you. So there are people out there doing it, but there are not that many. And you could be one of the first. Stop doing, Wix web designs. Go into the sandbox right now. Use the free developing tools. It doesn't cost any money to learn how to develop items, in-game items, or develop land. and learn that skill, and then offer it. And I got to tell you, if people are already paying $12,000 for a piece of land, they're not going to bat an eye if they have to pay you $2,000 to create a virtual sea on their land. They're not. It's worth the investment because they know that they can rent their land. They know that it's going to appreciate in value. So go to where the money's at. Web design's great, but most people now are square spacing it or whatever, and they're understanding that the future is going to be an actual virtual place in Web3. Theodore's here, just joining. Well, thank you, Theodore, for joining us. I appreciate it. Yeah, you're gonna have to forgive my voice. It's I had a bad cold this week, and it is kind of crazy. Yeah, Roblox is already full of such businesses. Yep. Okay. Good example. Thank you so much, Dicky. Dapper says, is it about having a virtual platform for people to visit in general, or is the value in being particular in the sandbox? The answer to that question is both. More and more virtual land platforms will pop up over time, and we can never tell which ones are actually going to stay. I will say that the ones that have the most potential from my own user experience are Decentraland and the Sandbox. But I think what the question you're answering is where are the big people going? If Drake or Kanye West, creates their own world in one of these platforms, then that their advisors have done a lot of research and spent a lot of money to be there. If you can create a place close to these environments, then it's probably a good investment. So it's all about proximity. It's all about following where the big people are going, following them on the various social media platforms. What are they doing? What NFTs are they releasing? Those kinds of things. Right now, it's about the same price to have a piece of land in Decentraland and the Sandbox. So as far as price goes, there's not like the number one place. Yeah, Brenton was saying virtual trade shows. Absolutely, virtual trade shows. Yeah, what is your product? It doesn't even have to be you creating a product. If you're doing Amazon selling right now, why not just create on a piece of virtual land a showcase for your camping gear, whatever it is. Again, it's a new interactive, immersive, engaging website. Think of it that way. Beloved Baby Music. Again, Beloved Baby Music could be doing music NFTs and selling not only the original track, but also all the stems that could be remixed by the owner of the NFT. And then maybe additional features like early access to concert tickets. Maybe the ability to participate in a contest for the best remix, and the best remix gets a certain amount of crypto. There's just the options are unlimited. Crazy Tech. Did you get tested for COVID, especially if you lost smell or taste? Well, thank you, Crazy Tech, for being aware. I actually did. First day, I was actually on Monday. I did, and I'm negative, so I'm good. But yeah, I did get a cold. And I did talk to the nurse, and she was saying that everyone is getting colds, and they're worried they're getting COVID. But actually, the common cold does exist too. Let's just see here. Anthony Goodley says, someone like Snoop just made the equivalent of $1 bet to me or you. All right. Beloved Baby Music, where do we buy land? Maybe you already said it. No, that's no problem. Beloved. Yeah, I'm recommending Decentraland and the Sandbox .game. Axie Infinity is another place. You can experiment with some of the free platforms. Like we visited today, Roblox, the Ian Corzine Metaverse. Which, by the way, if you want to play yourself, if you're a Roblox person and love that stuff, there's a link to the actual world where you can walk around in my world, and you can go to the Starbucks coffee, and you can get a Mr. Beast burger and that kind of stuff. So, if you want to spend some time. All right. All right, cool. Well, I just want to emphasize, guys, so just go over this one more time here. So why do you want your own metaverse? First of all, you need to talk to a metaverse developer or learn how to do it yourself. Talk to Coconut Pete. His links are in the description. He can create a metaverse for you. but that's the place for you to advertise your products and services. It's a place for you to create an experience or game that's going to bring people that are in your same community, your same interests that you can meet and be friends with. You can earn passive rent income through rentals, renting your land. Just buy the land. Let's say you don't want to develop it. Let's say you're Queen Helen Casey and you have no interest in this whatsoever. She drops, $5,000 to $10,000 on a piece of property, and then she rents it and makes money. Land appreciation value. Renting is one way to make money. Another way to make money is to just sit with it, right? This person bought a piece of property for $500, and in 6 months, it's now worth $16,000. No investment advice. I'm just telling you what the facts are. Use it as a gallery for NFTs. Yes, we've already talked about that. Network for virtual people. That's another great way. If you're going to a concert and you all have interest in the artist, then you can meet people of similar interests. And then finally, just have fun. Just go to a concert, enjoy yourself in this virtual land. If you would like more information about when virtual land is coming available for sale, when NFTs that you should be aware of are coming out, just subscribe to my newsletter, my email. I'd get on my email list, and you can go into the description section and click on that link. And I'm going to give you just the no BS thing, 5 listings that you should be aware of this week or this month or whatever, because I want to help you transport from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0. It's not something to be afraid of. It's just something that's happening. And if it's in balanced and measured fashion, it's not something that we should worry about, that we're going to be beholden to a set of, VR goggles and never, take a shower or eat the proper food. It's just going to be part of our lives. And I encourage you, this wave is coming, and we are paddling, and we are positioning ourselves so that we are perpendicular to this wave, so that we can catch it and that we can be successful in the metaverse and Web 3.0. Watch this next video. It's all about the legal issues that come up with the metaverse. Thanks for joining us.